Hello, welcome to Kaplan International English Teens programs, and in particular to our teens centres in Salisbury and Bath. My name's Mark, and I'm the principal of the two schools. I'd like to spend a few minutes explaining what we can offer to young students between the ages of 12 and 17. And to show you how we can provide a valuable, safe, fun and extremely rewarding language learning experience. First of all, I'd like to just outline the philosophy of learning, really, which underlies the courses that we provide. Until relatively recently, probably as little as 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, students were coming to the UK really for three things. They were coming for classroom tuition, for access to a social programme, and for the accommodation and meals. In other words, the classroom tuition was regarded as the serious part of their course, the social programme was regarded as the fun part, and the accommodation was regarded as the practical part, somewhere to sleep and the food. Now, this was the situation before. I think what we're seeing now, relatively recently, and what we're going to see much more in the future is a very different scenario. I think nowadays it's not sufficient for us as providers to view these three key course elements as separate and distinct aspects of a course. I think what we now need to provide, and what we're aiming to provide, certainly in our schools here in Bath and Salisbury, is an integrated experience. In other words, the academic, social and accommodation programmes work together. They're fully integrated. The experience which students get from us is one of cultural and linguistic immersion as a result. This really starts in the classroom. Classroom tuition serves to support students in finding ways to exploit the learning opportunities they encounter while they are with us, which of course includes the social programme and their accommodation programme. These are really the core elements of the course, and they are the reason why students now are coming to the UK, not so much for language lessons, which they can have access to pretty easily in their own countries. It's far more of an experience of cultural immersion, not only linguistic immersion. So that gives you an idea of the philosophy which is behind the course organisation for both our adult and teens programmes in the schools. Back to the cities of Bath and Salisbury. Both are small cities, respectively, populations of 85,000 and 45,000. 85,000 in Bath, 45,000 in Salisbury. So they are small cities, but they are lively and they're dynamic owing to their popularity year-round with visitors from all over the world. Because they are cities which depend on tourism, they both have excellent facilities for visitors, and they are extremely safe places for our students to spend time. Both cities are less than 2 hours from London by car or by public transport, and are therefore easily accessible from the London airports, as well as from regional airports such as Bristol and Bournemouth. The two cities are rich in history. The Romans came to Bath and founded the city in the year 43. In the 18th century, the city expanded in the hands of the Georgians, who were responsible for the magnificent architecture which can be seen all over the city today. The city has important links with the cultural history of the country. The writers Jane Austen, Charles Dickens and Mary Shelley all lived and worked in Bath. Bath also has strong connections with theatre, music and art, and was awarded the status of a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1987. Salisbury originally developed as the settlement of Old Sarum during the Iron Age. The nearby city of New Sarum, and now Salisbury as it's known, was founded in the 13th century, and its cathedral at the centre was completed in 1258. Salisbury Cathedral is actually the tallest stone building in the United Kingdom and houses one of only 4 original copies of the Magna Carta. As historic cities, both Salisbury and Bath have a deep cultural heritage and in many ways are like living museums of history. This makes them perfect locations for students because the cities provide unique opportunities for students to immerse themselves not only in the English language but also in the cultural history of English, something which they can simply not do in their own countries. As I've mentioned previously, both cities are extremely safe. You can walk anywhere safely, even at night. And since the cities depend on visitors, they have to have the safety and comfort of those visitors as a priority. When we choose our host families, we use very strict criteria. All of them have to undergo police checks on their suitability to host young people. And being small cities, you can walk from any host family to the schools in 40 minutes at the most. However, if students don't want to walk, which many do not, there are very comprehensive networks of local buses. We have accommodation and welfare managers in both schools. They are responsible for organising the accommodation of our students and for looking after their well-being. They're also available to help with any questions or problems that students may have and have 24-hour telephones with them at all times. We also have social programme managers who organise our social programme activities and excursions and ensure the social programme is an important part of the learning programme, not only an opportunity for students to have fun. They also carry out thorough risk assessments on all our activities to make sure they are safe and appropriate for students of all ages. The objective of our lessons is the development of the communication skills of our students. Our teachers therefore try to avoid explicit grammar teaching, for example, and instead their objective is to demonstrate to their students the real-life applications of English in a way which both motivates and inspires them. We have our own books, which you can see here. They form the core structure of the curriculum, but we give our teachers space to include their own ideas and materials as well. Our academic programme, social programme and accommodation systems are all integrated as far as possible to ensure that our teaching programme is based on the practical and personal needs of students and to make sure that students are thoroughly prepared in class in order to get the most out of their social activities and excursions. We have a wide range of the latest educational technology with interactive whiteboards and internet access in our classrooms, but we recognise that technology is a tool which should be used appropriately without being allowed to dominate the learning process. We recognise that the great advantage of coming to the UK to learn English is the opportunity to use the language for real-life communication. Our teachers therefore rely heavily on project work, helping students to prepare questionnaires and surveys, for example, which they then go on to use to obtain information from the members of the public. Many of our teachers are specialised in teaching young learners. They know exactly how to manage this age group, and in fact the schools themselves have been in operation for more than 20 years. During this time, we've taught many groups of young students and teenagers, and we therefore know how to exploit the cities and their resources appropriately with this age group. The social programme managers organise activity programmes which combine fun and new experiences with the development of the historical and cultural knowledge of the students. They have a team of activity leaders who help them to deliver the social programmes. These are young, friendly, energetic, and of course they all receive full training before they start working for us. We include a good variety of activities in our social programme with a mix of cultural, sporting and creative activities of interest to all personality types. Both cities are ideally situated to allow our students to explore London, the south of England and even South Wales. The fundamental objective of our social programme is to provide a full cultural, linguistic and educational experience for students. Having fun is an additional benefit rather than being the main objective. And our teachers prepare their students for social activities and excursions in the lessons to ensure that the social programme becomes a key part of the language learning process. We can organise a transfer service to collect groups from any airport and take them directly to Salisbury or Bath, where they'll be welcomed by their homestay families. There is free access to the internet through Wi-Fi for all our students in all our school buildings. During the week, students are provided with packed lunches, which typically include sandwiches, fruit, snacks and a drink. All our students receive a diary or like a scrapbook on their first day. This contains activities and information to help them adapt to life in the UK, and also gives them space to record their own experiences. In the future, this helps them to remember the time they've spent with us, and there is an example here of a page which has been completed by students, not just with writing but also with diagrams, with pictures, with drawings, images, anything which helps students to record and remember their experience. And finally, all of our students receive the certificate of attendance at the end of their course. Last of all, here are a couple of videos which help you to see for yourself everything that these two fabulous cities have to offer to students. Bath on the left and Salisbury on the right. I hope you find them interesting, and most of all, I hope you enjoy them. Thank you.